Yes, Jonathan?
Oh.
Oh, you're showing thumbs up. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down a little. Okay, so emotive language is powerful descriptive language that involves the reader and makes them feel different emotions as they read. So this, again, is an example of pathos. And what kind of language do you use when you're adding it? Okay, well, here's some examples of exaggerated language. Horrific, devastating, soul-crushing, terrifying. Yes?
Do we write the thing below emotion language too or no?
Yes. Abysmal, joyful, ecstatic, thrilling, and adrenaline. So these are all kind of words that are very descriptive, but also it can be exaggerated. So they make people feel a certain way when they hear that word, soul crushing. And they kind of try to sit in that word and really feel what they're saying. It can make them feel a certain way. And that is called emotive language. So I think we got the top part right. Okay, then we have exaggeration. And this is not just the words, but it's an actual statement that is very exaggerated. Did you want to move up over here? It's an actual statement, so a complete sentence that is exaggerating something. Let me just highlight this. So these are all things you can use in your writing, in your essay to make it sound more persuasive and convincing. I will be looking for this. I will be looking for these type of words, exaggerated statements, just using all of the appeals, rhetorical questions.
Miss, out of the order of your question, do we still need to do the branding lesson 21?
Yeah.
Yes. We're still adding to that too. We're going to add the last 10 questions.
Wait, what? I don't have room for that.
And then we will correct it. If you need to go to a different page, it's fine.
That's where I wrote this.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as you have them somewhere in the journal. Okay, exaggeration is a statement that is over the top and makes a situation seem worse or better than it is. Examples: if we don't do something soon, we will die a devastating death. So that is an exaggerated statement. It's using persuasive appeal and persuasive strategies.
What does
abysmal?
Yeah, that.
It means like to lose, to be lost, somewhere that they can't find you.
Oh. Wait, so we need to add these words in our writing?
You don't have to add exactly these words, but similar words, once you start your own essay. And we're going to read a couple of articles and essays that were already written, and then kind of see how they're actually using a lot of this stuff to convince people. And sometimes we don't even realize it. You know, we're just reading along and we see this exaggerated statement of, if we all don't do this, then we're going to die. And then that kind of triggers an emotion in readers, and it makes them more invested in the article. So then they're like, oh, I'm starting to get the feeling that this is serious.
Oh, okay, now I understand.
Oh, so for exaggeration, is there one example or two?
And there might be two. Let's see. Yeah, two. Just think about this horror. Thinking about this horror makes me want to explode. That's so dramatic.
Isn't that also like figurative language right there?
It is figurative language. So I'm glad that you pointed that out, Saul, because they use a lot of this in speeches also. So when you go through speeches and they're trying to get you to vote for them and stuff, you can find a lot of figurative language. You can also use a lot of alliteration.
What's that again?
Remember, it's like when you have the first letter, it is the same in the 3 words. The 3 consecutive words have the same first letter. So Peter Piper picked a pepper.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Isaiah? We have about 14 more minutes of class time.
Are these the notes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I was like, you scared me.
Okay, so the examples, it should be 2 examples. Show me a thumbs up if you have it. Okay. A few more seconds. Let's scroll down. Okay, so another tool, another writing tool. When you're writing your essay, you're like, I don't know what else to add. This is 2 sentences and I have to write a whole paragraph. Okay, well, you can add facts and statistics. This is when all the research comes in. We're researching and we want to add facts and statistics to our essay. So that can also help to fill in your paragraphs. However, it has to be cited correctly. Yes, that's using logos. And that is what we will be going over next, because it's very important that you cite it correctly. If it's not cited correctly, what could happen? It might be considered something.
Wait, what?
If you don't cite your sources correctly, what might it be considered?
Plagiarism.
Yes, plagiarism.
Wait, did you say if it's not cited correctly?
Yes, if it is not cited correctly, it may be considered plagiarism. Quotes, and we're going to go into a lot more detail on that as we get into the research part of our essay, because it does require quotations, but we're going to go over this thing. It's an acronym, and it's called ICE. And what it stands for is introduce, cite, and explain. What I've been noticing with the intrams is, some people add their evidence, and it's all good, and it looks good. But it kind of just looks like it fell in there, like out of the sky, and then nothing else happens with it. So what you want to do is you want to kind of prepare your sentence so that the reader knows there's a citation coming up. And then after you cite it, you explain why you use it. So that's what's missing, the explanation part, most of the time. But we're going to go over that. Okay, so facts and statistics include information that has been proven and has evidence to back it up. You use facts and statistics to make your piece more believable and to reinforce your point. So like Jonathan said, you're using logos because you're using just logic for those logical thinkers that don't get all emotional about stuff. This might get them because they might consider, well, that research is looking pretty obvious. It's looking pretty believable. So I might go along with this. I might try it out. I might try that product. Okay, and what are some examples of facts and statistics?
Science says that like 5 million germs are on toothpaste and do plastic removal.
Yes, so it could be something like the science, the American Scientists Association, right? Something like that. Here's some examples at the bottom. On average, only 3 people die per year from shark attacks. There are 160,000 fast food restaurants in America. So that's pretty crazy. And it's also kind of shocking when the reader reads a fact like that. It kind of makes them think like, oh, I never knew that. So you're kind of teaching them something new, and then they feel like, oh, I can trust this writer and I can believe them even more.
Hold on, Mr. Roscoe, wait, hold on. Is this the last one?
I think there's one more.
I was going
This might be the last one. I'm just checking. Oh no, sorry, it's not the last one. I wanted to double check. Okay, once you have it, show me a thumbs up. Yes, I will be checking this at the door. So make sure you're getting it now so you don't have to sit here for half of your snack time.
Oh, on my desk.
He's my buddy muncher. He's my buddy muncher.
Okay, so far, what do you have that you can use in your writing?
Everything.
Yeah.
We started with rhetorical questions,
Take those.
exaggerations, emotive language, facts and statistics. Okay, the next one is a very familiar one from December with figurative language, alliteration.
Mr. Roscoe, for one of the
So alliteration is the next one, just so you know. And remember, it's the one where it has the same letter at the beginning of 3 consecutive words. Why would they do that? Well, it sounds appealing to the reader, and it also helps them remember things. It's kind of like repetition. I don't know if you've ever watched a commercial and that the song from the commercial is just stuck in your head for a whole 2 days. So that happens on purpose so that you can remember the company or the product, and you're like, oh yeah, I know that product. I remember the commercial.
Wait, Mr. Roscoe, that's actually very I remember. I saw a lot of ads remembered in my head.
Yeah, and it's helpful to remember it because they use alliteration. So in your writing, I will have to say, if I find alliteration in your writing, I will be very impressed and I will give you dojo points. Because I know it takes a lot of thought to kind of add that into your persuasive writing. But if you do use alliteration, I will give you dojo points.
Do we have to can we use one of Do you have to use like?
No.
Hold on, I can't see.
I think he's trying to like think and do, and then
He's trying to talk too fast.
Are we allowed to like use like
So.
are we allowed to use like one of the ad commercials in our text like that? Like copy it down? And do we still get Dogecoin for it or no?
I would say to not like copy the commercial, but if you get like an inspiration or an idea from a commercial, you can maybe just change it into your own, you know. But it can't be the same one.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
We're not done.
If you didn't finish this part, I will have to go back, so skip a couple lines because I need a lot of space to move down. Okay, this is the last one for today, but we still have a couple more. Alliteration is when the 3 or more words start with the same letter. This captures the reader's attention and makes your writing interesting. Okay, so here's some examples. Foul, filthy, fast food.
Can we do one? Like,
So that says a lot right there.
can we do like
You want to make your own?
yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Terrible taunting teachers. I don't know about that one. That one's kind of... But, I mean, it says a lot about how they feel about the teachers, right? So,
Now you.
yeah.
Wow. I said now you.
And even with the foul, filthy, fast food, what do they think about fast food, you know?
It's foul and it's filthy.
And it's kind of like catchy. You kind of remember that
Foul, filthy, fast food.
later on. Okay, so once you have this part, I am going to sign your notes.